Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld again. Thanks for stopping by, and just remember, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, feel free to take a look at some of my other Battlefield videos if you like. You can find them all in a playlist in the description down below. But anyway, in today's video, we're going to take a closer look at some of the things we're going to be losing from BF4 in Battlefield 1. And well, it looks like we're going to be losing quite a lot this time around because after all, these games are set about a century apart. So bearing this in mind, I think it is safe to say that we won't be seeing a return of any of the high-tech weapons and gadgets from the current games. And I think because of this, we're going to see a fundamental change to the core gameplay mechanics, which will have a huge impact on the way the game is actually played. Obviously, I don't have time to go into every single change in this video, so what I've done is put together a list of what I think are the 5 main ones. And the reason I've picked these points in particular is because they're currently key features of how Battlefield 4 and Hardline work. In saying that though, you might agree or disagree with the order I've put them in, so if you do, feel free to let me know what you think below. And also make sure you let me know if you can think of any other big changes you think I've missed, and let me know why you think they're going to make a big difference. So to kick off, coming in at number 5, the first thing we're definitely not going to be seeing in Battlefield 1 is helicopters. And that's because helicopters weren't really invented until 1936, and they definitely didn't see military service until after World War II. That means that ferrying troops quickly across the battlefield is going to be a lot more difficult, and there also won't be any attack helis to deal with vehicles. So in a way, that's kind of a buff to armoured vehicles, and I'm guessing that DICE are going to have to include some other ways to counter them instead. Now, coming in next at number 4 is the motion balls and the tugs, which are 2 gadgets that have been around since Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3. And this is a big hit for any kind of stealth playstyle, and in general for whatever the recon class is going to become in the new game. On one hand, I guess it is a positive thing that they won't be around in TDM, but all in all, I think it is sad to see them go. And that's because they were a huge tool for aggressive recon players, and it's going to be a lot harder to pull off this playstyle without them. So coming in next at number 3, another thing we won't be seeing a lot of in Battlefield 1 is optics. And this is going to be a big thing for anyone who's grown up with FPS games since the release of Modern Warfare 1, because weapon attachments have become almost a key feature. As far as optics go in particular though, well, you've got to understand that advanced optics like what we have in BF4 are only really something that's become common in recent decades. And before that, except for snipers, most frontline soldiers would have just used the standard iron sights that came with their rifle. Now, coming in next at number 2 is high RPM automatic weapons, which didn't really exist back in the early 20th century. And that's because machine guns were only a fairly new invention at the time, meaning we shouldn't really expect anything like the AEK in BF1. That's going to mean that accuracy will be a lot more important, especially considering that most of the guns will be semi-automatic or bolt-action designs. And that should be pretty interesting because it'll mean that spraying and praying won't be as effective, which should give veteran players a bigger advantage. Now, just quickly before we get onto the number 1 spot on this list, I should give an honourable mention to vehicle turrets, which we won't see a lot of in BF1. And that's because although they did exist at the time, most early tanks had sponsons on the side instead, which should make tank gameplay in BF1 feel very different. Also, I should give another honourable mention to grenade launchers, which also didn't exist as a separate gadget at the time. And so to make up for this, I think what we're going to see instead are rifle grenades, which kind of have the same effect, but should be a lot slower to reload. But finally, probably the most important thing we're losing is lock-on missiles, which, in my opinion, have been an annoying feature in Battlefield for way too long. And so I think the fact that they didn't exist in the World War I period is going to make flying aircraft a whole lot more fun in BF1. By the same token, aircraft also won't have any sort of missiles, so they're going to need to line up their targets manually the old-fashioned way. And I think this is going to bring a lot more skill back into the game, and it should make piloting aircraft and vehicles in general feel a lot more rewarding. But anyway guys, that just about wraps up this list, so let me know what you think of these points in the comment section below, and if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description below if you want to see any more of my videos or if you want to support my channel on Patreon. And until next time, see you later and have a good one.